there's a lot to be determined with Geno Smith, and there's a lot to be determined with Sam Darnold. And we'll see how long he's in Seattle. We'll see if it works for him in Seattle. We'll see if he can duplicate in Seattle what he did in Minnesota. Last year may very well have been a moment where the planets lined up just perfectly until they went out of line Week 18 at Detroit, and the chariot turned back into a pumpkin. The question is there a toggle switch on that pumpkin to turn it back into a chariot with a new team, a new contract, and expectations he hasn't had, Chris, since the Jets traded up from number 6 to number 3 with the Colts 7 years ago to make Darnold the 3rd overall pick in the draft. He carried expectations into New York. It didn't work out. He's carrying expectations into Seattle. We'll see if it works out. And I'm not wishing ill on him.
No,
I'm just
I
saying,
hear you.
Circumstances change.
Yep.
Last year was perfect. No expectations. This guy stinks. Oh, God, the Vikings season's over. J.J. McCarthy's out for the year. They put him on IR before the roster cuts. He's out for the entire year. They're going with Sam Darnold. Are you kidding me? Oh, this guy's pretty good. And there really is a difference. In any setting, school, work, wherever, you come in with no expectations, it's a lot easier to do your best. You come in with high expectations, you start to grip that football a little more tightly, Chris. And we saw what happened when the bar was high in Week 18. That's my only concern if I'm a Seahawks fan, that Sam Darnold is going to show up more often than he did last year.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully that was an experience for him. You know, as we discussed before, it's one of those where, yeah, he hadn't been in quite so many situations like that in the NFL. In fact, that was really the first time ever. And it looked like he was nervous and rattled a little bit and didn't play his best game. I don't think he looked like that in the wild card game to what we talked about. But, yeah, everybody's going to have that thought about him. Okay, yeah, he's good. Okay, is he good? Can he do it again? Can he have a really successful season? All right, well, okay, great. Now he's in the playoffs again. Is he going to choke like he did last time? Can he actually win playoff games? Can he go there? He's going to have to answer those questions. Sure, definitely. And then he's going to have to answer them with no more Tyler Lockett there, no DK Metcalf there. They're going to have to change the way they think and operate on the offensive side of the ball. But I also think that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing a turning of the tide as far as what Mike McDonald wants his team to look like, the culture for what he wants. Gets a guy from the Shanahan coaching tree. Right, he can't, like we talked about, McDonald's from Baltimore. He saw Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, running up the middle, play defense, chew up clock, play action pass, big pass, something like that. That's how we'll do it. But I think that's how he's kind of looking at it, and we're just seeing a changing of era here where I think they're going to get into, start building through the defense. I think you're going to see them focus on the offensive line, and they're going to try to make it not all about the quarterback and Sam Darnold. In some ways, go back to what they were when they were going to the Super Bowl, a really good, complete team where the quarterback could just operate the offense and make a play here and there. And I just have that feeling that's what they're trying to do there, and hopefully Sam Darnold can pull it off.
One last very small point on this. It intrigued the hell out of me yesterday.
Right.
After the Seahawks traded the guy that they supposedly
wanted
were all in with.
Right.
I had somebody remind me that he told me back when that weird story popped up that the Steelers had called the Jaguars about Trevor Lawrence. This person had told me it wasn't the Steelers, it was the Seahawks. And I was dismissive. Why would the Seahawks call about Trevor Lawrence? They got Geno Smith. Geno Smith's their guy. They can win a championship with Geno Smith. And for all anyone knows, there was one last effort to try to get Trevor Lawrence, or at least to make the phone call, before they agreed to terms with Sam Darnold. Because it did take a little while for the Darnold deal to get done. It wasn't right out of the gates. And maybe they were just keeping up appearances. They didn't want the tampering to be too obvious. But that Trevor Lawrence wrinkle fascinated me because every once in a while I get one of those I told you so calls from a source who I didn't believe.
Yeah, well,
and when Geno got traded, the call was, hey, I told you it was the Seahawks that called them, not the Steelers.
Well, who else? So wasn't there somebody else that was reported that called about Trevor Lawrence yesterday or the day before? I mean, obviously teams were taking a shot there to see what direction Jacksonville, Liam Cohn wanted to go, if they were happy with everything there. but I did not envision him being available, especially with
No.
An offensive coach who's just jumping in the game there. And, of course, as we know, Trevor Lawrence, it might not be perfect, but we've seen moments to go, hey, that looks pretty damn good. And a good coach is going to think he can get that out of him on a consistent basis.
Back to our point, though, be careful about taking things at face value. There's a lot of BS that gets sprinkled around because they have to, because they want to, whatever. We try to poke through it and get to the truth. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.